course? Have all your players returned fit and healthy?
Well, we have still some people who are coming in today. Like Iwobi had to fly back from Russia to Nigeria, from Nigeria to London, and don't know where they stand at the moment. We have a check today, medical check today, and a recovery check today.
You mentioned Alex Iwobi there. He was one of the few players to really thrive on international duty.
Yes, they played friendly games, but still it's good for them. For him, what we want from him is to add goals to his game, and this kind of experiences will help him to be confident in scoring.
In terms of the players who stayed here, what can you tell us in terms of your team news for Saturday?
Well, them as well have to be checked, because Mustafi will have a final check tomorrow, Welbeck as well. So we'll make decisions on all of them on tomorrow.
Finally from me, you've managed in the North London derby now for 21 years. What is it that makes this fixture so special to you?
Well, first of all, that it's always the pride involved, you know, the desire to beat your opponent, like all the neighbours in the world is always fierce derbies, and as well to keep your nerves and focus on the game, and must have a full commitment, but as well be lucid enough and calm enough to focus on the game.
Good morning, Arsene.
Good morning.
As you were just saying, it's been 21 years. After all that time, is this still the fixture you look forward to most?
It's one of the fixtures, yes, but of course is very important for us, and that you want to win, but basically as well because in the table we have to make some ground up, you know, with the top teams, and it's at home we have been very strong, and our home strengths will certainly be vital to decide where we will finish at the end of the season.
For a long time, obviously, you were the dominant team in North London. Perhaps in recent seasons, Spurs
for 20 years.
Exactly. And perhaps in the last year, Spurs have just edged their nose in front. Do you almost even see yourselves as underdogs this weekend?
No, not at all, no. You know, I think Tottenham is a good side, but we have the quality to win this game, and that's what we want to show.
Alexandre Lacazette, there's maybe a perception from some that you don't trust him, for want of a better word, to start the big games. Is that the case?
No, not at all, no. I have a big choice to make every time, big decisions to make up front, but he played many games, Alexandre Lacazette. He didn't play away from home at City. I think that's the only game he didn't start. And overall, no, I trust him completely.
He's starting on Saturday?
The decision is not made yet, but it's a possibility because he's available.
As is always the case, you get former players giving their opinion on North London derbies, and Lee Dixon has said that the players maybe are soft or don't have the desire that they did back in his day. Do you ever look at your squad and wish they were?
Well, you know, that's the kind of remarks you get for 20 years. And I remember many people told me at the time, 2002-03, will Pires be tough enough to play in the derby? But he's a guy who scored more goals than everybody in the London derby. So at the end of the day, it's down to the quality of the game.
And the Arsenal of 2017 are just as tough as the Arsenal of 2000, 2001?
Yes, it depends. We have to agree what is tough and not tough. You know, I believe that the football player has to be efficient, and that counts the most. Efficiency is, if your defender is not to make any mistakes, to win the ball, and when you're a striker, to put the ball in the back of the net. Is that tough or not tough? It doesn't matter too much. It's how efficient you are in your game.
Is there a plan to deal with Harry Kane on Saturday?
To keep him quiet, yes.
He's their most potent weapon, isn't he? He's the player you fear most?
We have no fear. We have just we are focused on nullifying their strong points and expressing our strong points.
Morning, Arsene. Pochettino, do you see a little bit of him, yourself in him now, from 20 years ago?
I don't know. I don't want to judge people. I think he's done an exceptional job, and he's a good manager. After that, in our job, it's the distances that make the difference and the quality, and he has all the ingredients that to go a long way. But overall, it's very difficult to know for me to predict what will happen in his career.
So if he stays 20 years, then perhaps. If he stays as long as you, he has your longevity maybe?
I don't know. He will certainly be a manager for a long time, but that's down to everybody's choice. It's how long do you want to go? How long will you have the health, the confidence of people? That goes very quickly now.
The closeness of the two clubs now, in terms of where they are on the table and what they can achieve, is that an extra motivation for you? Because, as you say, for many years you were the top dogs in North London, but now that's not the case.
We'll see at the end of the season.
What if it's an extra motivation for you?
No, the extra the real motivation for me is not to do as well as we have a potential in our team to get to the maximum with the potential we have in the team. It's not the target is not to compare to Tottenham.
And finally, from me, some fear, I would say, amongst the fans going into this game. They used to know that you would beat Spurs, but now there is not that certainty. What's your message to the fans for Saturday?
Just to support the team and stand with us for 90 minutes, and that's what you want from your fans, and that's I'm confident they will do.
Arsene, was there an overreaction to Tottenham finishing above you, in your opinion, last season, considering you won the FA Cup?
Yeah, we won the FA Cup, and we made 75 points. So overall, our overall achievement, I think, was quite positive, even if it was a disappointment for us not to finish in the Champions League for the first time in 21 years.
But was there an overreaction to Tottenham finishing above you, do you think?
I don't know. I didn't. It's difficult for me to assess that. I don't really know.
Is Jack Wilshere wondering what he's got to do to get in the England squad, and how close is he to starting the Premier League game?
Is to keep fit and work hard, and it's what he does. At the moment, it's going well for him. He's on plan, and slowly, I think we get into the spirit of Southgate again. And his creative aspect of his game, certainly, if he keeps fit, is a big asset for him.
Is he close to starting a Premier League game for you, do you think?
Yeah, he's very close. It's just a question for me to decide to start him or not, but he's ready to play.
There's a BBC survey out that suggests that a lot of young fans have stopped going. What's your reaction to that? Are you worried what that means for the future of the game?
Yes, of course I do, because I think nothing is better than to share the experience of a stadium, inside the stadium, and there are many ingredients now in the modern game that could incite people not to go so much. First of all, the lifestyle is a bit different. They play less, they play more on computers, so that is a bit more an individual experience than the collective experience. Playing with your partners is collective. Playing on your computer is more an individual experience. After that, you have the fact that the security with gathering people is a problem as well in the heads of many people. After you have can you afford as well to go to the stadiums when you're young? That's not always easy. So many ingredients where we have to take care of in the game.
Thank you.
Arsene, you could come up against Serge Aurier on Saturday, who was linked with a move here many times. What have you made of him? And you played against him last year.
He's a good player who has good power to go forward, and is always dangerous going forward. He played against us with Paris Saint-Germain. They were in the same group with them, and overall, I think he's a top-class right back.
And how's Laurent Koscielny? I imagine you were pleased to see him rested for the Germany game in midweek.
it was needed for him. You know, we couldn't use him for a number of games. He just came back against City, and because he had Achilles tendon problem. And for me, if he had played in Germany, he certainly would not have been available for Saturday.
Olivier Giroud did pick up an injury though. Is he,
Olivier Giroud did pick up an injury. I don't think he will be available.
is it long term?
No, short term, but should start again on Monday. And we have to assess him on Monday, but I don't think he will be available.
You touched on it already, but at the AGM you talked a lot about the fans needing to be united behind the team. Is that more important than ever in this particular fixture, given the opposition?
Maybe in this fixture is less important because it will be natural for them. But in the other fixtures, yes.
Every time Spurs are the opposition, you're always asked about the balance of power in North London. I just wonder what you thought of that as a concept, really.
What I saw of that is that it's a question you have to answer, and there's only one way to answer is on the pitch. You know, what people, the conclusion of people will be the comparison of the two performances on Saturday, and you have a good opportunity to show that we are the strongest. So let's do it.
There was obviously disappointment among the fans last season for finishing below them for the first time in such a long time. Did you sense that among the players as well? Particularly
Yes.
to finish below Tottenham?
It's not to finish below Tottenham, it's to finish outside of top 4. That was a big disappointment because it's the first time as well, let's be honest, in the history of the Premier League, that with 75 points you're not in the top 4. You can check that. And so I still feel that it was very harsh on us because it was for 1 point, and overall people forget that we have won the FA Cup in a very stylish way, playing against City in the semi-final, against Chelsea in the final. When the team is close to make the double, usually they make it, you know, and it was we finished the season in a very strong way. So overall I believe that it was a disappointment to finish outside the top 4, yes.
And just finally, Santi Cazorla gave an interview in Spain during the international break talking about just the detail of what he's been through in the last year or so. I mean, it sounded horrific from what he was describing.
It is. Honestly, it is.
I mean, is it maybe the worst injury you know?
Yes.
Seen?
It is the worst injury I've known, starting with a little pain, with a pain on the Achilles, and you finish, it's gone worse to worse, you know. And I must say, I know how much Santi Cazorla loves to play football and loves to be out there every day. And I feel really sorry for what happened to him because it's unbelievable.
Do you think he's back in January as planned? Is that still the
I wish. Last time I've seen him was one month ago. He came here, and I told him to prepare as much as well as he can. He has competent medical people around him and tries to practice. I have not spoken to him recently, but I hope he comes back and ready to. That's why I left him out of a squad, you know, hoping that he will be available in January. That was my target at the start.
There must be a doubt that he might never play again, though, given how bad that injury is.
Let's not talk about that, but I hope that you're wrong.